We're about to start Here's What Matters.
Yes.
This is the segment where we go all through the nerdy news from the week, and we're going to tell you here's what matters. All right, we're going to tell you everything that matters. And specifically, we're going to start with the Venom trailer. Now, we have a new Venom trailer that hit this week. Pretty sure this is the footage that was shown at the Hall H Comic-Con panel.
It sure seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. There may have been more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the trues in the chat. Appreciate that. But yes, we have a new trailer, and we need to talk about it. Also, there was another piece of Sony Marvel news we want to talk to in tandem with this, specifically a Kraven movie. But we're going to come back to that because we have a bigger thesis with this piece. But let's talk about Venom.
So, there's been some mixed feelings on the new Venom trailer.
That's a positive way to spin that.
As you know, I've been ambivalent towards this movie, mostly because I want to see Venom introduced with Spider-Man, like most people.
Like how it is.
However, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel. I saw this trailer. I was like, you know what? This movie looks like fun. I don't know if it'll be a good movie, but it looks like I'm going to have fun watching it.
Was it the turd line?
Looks like, hey, you know what? Tom Hardy's having fun. He's having fun doing both voices. I enjoy seeing him have fun. I'm going to have fun with him watching this movie.
Have you ever seen...
The symbiote looks cool.
Have you seen House Bunny, starring Anna Faris?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yes, that's the same voice. Where she's like, nice to meet you. When she remembers people's names, it's the same. Was that your joke? Did I just steal that from you?
No, but I'll take it.
Okay.
It's funny.
Okay, Roxy and I came up with it in tandem. Thank you so
That
much.
voice was the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm not talking about it. The Venom one, his actual voice, it sounds like he's trying to be from like a mixture of New York and hell.
I don't know. Doesn't bother me.
Sounds like he got kicked. Like he got kicked bad. And I think that...
He got kicked real bad.
Yeah, well, here's our opinion. You are more on board with it now as fun.
Yeah.
Would you say this is the same kind of fun that you had watching Kong Skull Island and Godzilla?
I really liked Kong Skull Island.
Is this similar?
I don't know until I see the movie.
But is similar hype? Where you like monster movie? You like the big?
I do like the big monster
spectacle.
Movies. Yeah, but I actually was kind of on the fence about Kong, and then I heard good things, and then I saw it, and then I really enjoyed it.
See, that was opposite for me.
Yeah.
I was super excited. Didn't do that for me. But hey, different opinions. That's fine. And it's cool that we have different opinions about this one because the internet is pretty much negative towards this, but let's talk about it because there's a lot of stuff to break down in this trailer. Specifically, we got a lot more action with the Venom suit, and I have to say I do like the way the Venom suit looks. It's gonna look CGI no matter what. Like that's how it's gonna be. I don't want to see a claymation version of this. I'm gonna be honest, and I appreciate. I like what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty cool. Also, you get a scene where Eddie and Venom are talking to each other, like it's coming out of his hand like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty cool. It's from the comics too, of Venom kind of sticking out. And talking to him like that. I see such a cool clip.
This trailer is focused a lot on the relationship between Eddie and Venom, and I think that interests me. I think that's what starts saying like, hey, maybe this movie does have a take. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
There's. I was looking at the chat really quick because actually, Jake Butt 0509, thank you so much. I don't like how Venom somehow has room for a whole mouth, tongue, and throat, but you can still peek through his face and show Eddie on the other side. You know what? That's from the comics too. You can't really poke too many holes in that.
It is what it is at this point.
It's
an alien goo monster from space.
That's about right.
You know, so who knows how those things work. Also, he's able to eat things. Where does it go?
Where does it go? Does it go?
You know what I mean? Like I don't know how any of it works really.
Does that mean Eddie's eating him?
Yeah. Is it going into Eddie's? But it's not technically supposed to be that. It's supposed to be feeding the symbiote. None of it. You know what? If you really want to start going down those rabbit holes, not a lot of it makes any sense.
No, it doesn't. But
how does Spider-Man's powers work, really, if you think about it?
How is he climbing anything?
How does he
through
stick?
Pants?
Because they show
through shoes.
Exactly, because they show in the movie they show the hairs, but he's wearing full-on shoes. None of it makes any sense. Anyway, that's beside the point.
And it's also, why does nothing else catch on it? Like when he grabs someone's hand, why does he rip their skin off?
Exactly. Anyway,
hey, that's a different video we can do.
Yeah.
But you enjoy the look
of the symbiote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that they added the little white veins to give you the sense of the coloring, even though it doesn't have the spider, because they're like, oh, it wouldn't make sense because he's not connected to Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, but what if you connected him to Spider-Man though?
And I dig the teeth and I dig the eyes. There's a lot of stuff that is working for me, but also we got a view of the villain, Riot, and we were clamoring, we were screaming from the rooftops. Riot. And then they gave
Riot.
Thank you for pulling up this image because it's the perfect example of like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Yeah, this image isn't the best, although you can definitely see Riz Ahmed in there, so he's definitely the final.
Oh, do you mean Dr. Carlton Drake?
I meant Riz Ahmed, but yeah. I mean, I guess that's what I mean.
Sorry, thanks, Roxy. But no, we're getting from what we know from Comic-Con with the Rupert Murdoch, what is the director's name? I'm blanking on his name right now. We'll pull it up in a second. But he confirmed that Riot, the way the symbiote works, is different from Venom, where Venom's bonded to Riot bounces around between people, kind of like a demon from a Denzel Washington movie that I am blanking on now. Wow, I'm doing great.
You just hit.
Fleischer.
Ruben
Thank you,
Fleischer.
Also, I'm letting you guys know right now, this is the most positive Patreon group of people I've ever seen. They're still stoked on the movie. They love the way that Venom looked, and they're going in with a blank slate at the worst. So we got a lot of positivity going on in here.
I think I'm going to do the same. I had some reservations when it came to, like, this is not the same at all, but like Wonder Woman going into it because we kind of got burned by the other DC movies. For me, that's me. The trailers for Wonder Woman weren't making me feel the way the Venom ones are. Yes. I felt just kind of neutral on them. But no, then I was overjoyed when I saw that movie. Recently, I watched the No Man Land scene and I got teary-eyed.
Yeah, I doubt you'll come out of this movie overjoyed.
Uh-huh.
I just don't think the bones are there for that one. But yeah, it looks like it looks like it could be at least an entertaining film. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like it's going to be like a Catwoman. I mean, it might still be. You know what I mean? Who's to say?
Man, props to the people who joined us when we watched Catwoman, because that is actually hard to watch. Not because of the story's rough, but also the editing. It cuts every about 2 seconds, every couple frames.
That movie's a punishing experience.
And they M. Scotter83 says, Sam, you're thinking of Fallen, starring Denzel Washington. Yes, he's hunting down a demon. He's a cop, and the demon jumps between people when he touches people. It's really cool.
So, and also there's some shots in the trailer of a woman also using symbiote, and I'm assuming that is also Riot. The texture there's like a metallic texture.
Yeah.
Although they've been cagey about whether other symbiotes will appear.
One looked yellowish when it was in the tub.
So we don't know if that ends up on somebody
in that washing machine with the turd in it.
Yeah, I am a little like I don't necessarily need Venom fighting a bunch of other goo monsters, but hey, you know what? That's what we were always gonna get.
I mean, yeah, I can't really do much better.
I mean, he does have other enemies that aren't goo monsters, but they're not as popular, I guess, or whatever. I don't know.
But speaking of enemies, let's also talk about Kraven. There's news this week that the writer for Equalizer. Not Equalizer 2, Equalizer, which I think has been more well received overall. Richard Wink, gonna say Wink. He has signed on to write a treatment or whatnot, a script for Kraven the Hunter, a popular Spider-Man villain with lots of abs. He's got 2-3 extra sets of abs.
He's got so many abs. No, Kraven is actually one of my favorite Spider-Man villains.
Is it because he has eyes on his vest so he could scare away predators?
Yes. There it is.
Well, okay, moving on.
But here's something I think that's interesting when you run into what Sony's trying to do with making, because we were talking about it before. There had been murmurings of a Kraven spinoff film. At the same time, there was a Mysterio spinoff film.
Yes.
And they're doing Morbius, and Morbius makes sense, and Venom makes sense in the sense that these are characters that have runs. They have headlined a comic at some point
by themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Kraven, as far as I know, has always been a supporting player in Spider-Man comics. He has not headlined his own book. And it's also interesting that, like, if I were to announce a superhero movie, what's one of the first questions that pops in your brain?
Oh no, this would be an easy one for you. Go on.
Who are they going to fight? Who's the villain, right?
Easy.
Who's the antagonist?
Easy, yes.
And so the problem with a lot of these characters that they're introducing is the antagonist, their main primary antagonist, is the one person they can't use. It's Spider-Man.
Yes.
Even people that are excited for Venom, a lot of the fan Photoshop edits are photoshopping this Venom fighting Spider-Man. Like, that's what people want.
Or like there was a Spider-Man version. Oh, the costume, Spider-Man's costume, but like Venomized to like match the Venom. It was it was a cool mix-up or a cool mashup.
That's their most. I mean, like, Carnage is cool and all, but Venom's most iconic enemy is Spider-Man.
I did want to mention, speaking of villains, Davey Cha05 in the chat says, "Wasn't Kraven going to be in Black Panther?" ?
No, Ryan Coogler said he wanted to because there was a part of a Christopher Priest run where Black Panther fights Kraven,
which makes sense. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to like aesthetics,
I don't know where you would have fit him in there. Though.
I don't either, but I like the idea. But also, when it comes back to the Mysterio solo movie, since the main rumors for Far From Home are Mysterio's the main villain for that, I think the Mysterio solo film's kind of...
Yeah, and I think that should be... I feel like with these villains, you want to introduce them in a Spider-Man movie, and then if they're popular enough, then let them spin off.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good tactic that studios have done, and it makes sense, but we'll have to kind of just wait and see. And also, here's an important little asterisks down at the bottom for this story.
Yeah.
It's in the same production like space as like Silver and Black. It's not like it's not really going anywhere else. I'd say Morbius too, but Morbius at least has Jared Leto.
It has a star,
but no script.
Silver and Black was moving forward quicker, and now it's kind of back on the back burner
for rewrite. So it's all intents and purposes, it's basically in the same spot because like there's no creatives attached for it to like for directing or anything like that. She's got a.
Oh yeah, no, I saw this earlier.
There you go. Oh, Roxy's really excited about something on her phone. But what I wanted to bring up is because those are all on the same like level, basically, some of those characters could be cool to go up against Kraven, not in the sense that any comic book reader would expect, but I kind of have a pitch for where Sony could go with all of this. Like, because we were talking about that, it's like, you brought it up, it's like, is there a plan? Like, or are you just kind of like, just shooting movies out there, which studios do and they can make money from it, but also we've seen that like when you create a connected story with these characters, we can become more invested in like we will go see a sequel to something that might not be very good, Thor 2, but we'll watch it because there's more,
because it might connect to the whatever
and which we've watched that movie 2 times now.
So I've got a question for you. Sony is not, it doesn't look like it's going to back down from this notion of doing, because all they have the rights to is the Spider-Man characters, doing movies that focus on those characters. Are there characters within the Spider-Man realm that you think could anchor their own movies?
Well, what I was setting up with this is that I think they have a good start with it. I think Morbius is a good one to pick. Venom makes sense because they've made so many freaking symbiotes at this point. Just pick anybody and you can just have them go up against it. It's like, do you want more turd monsters? Good. There's a planet full of them. We'll go to that one. We'll go into space.
Don't worry, we'll fly over there.
It's like a turd just wiggling around, and they're just a bunch of Venoms. Whippy, that's yay! I'm excited about that. But I think they have a good start to that. It's tough to say, but you had a cool pitch for a specific Spider-Man character that's actually been introduced in a way for the Spider-Verse movie and in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Prowler. Well, here's the thing. Growing up, there was collecting cards with my dad. There was a Spider-Man set, and there was a bunch of like hero characters that were tied to Spider-Man. Classic characters like Nightwatch and Annex, who I had to explain to Sam who that was, and it's just a
and Nightwatch. Who's that?
Nightwatch is he looks a lot like Spawn, but his suit's nanotechnology, as opposed to
Spawn.
Like demon stuff. But he's a cool character. His origin's too complicated. You have to streamline that.
He hasn't been in comics for at least a decade.
No. He had like a 12-issue run, and then that was it. But Prowler is relatively more popular. But more important than any of that, Donald Glover is playing like in the Ultimate Universe, his character is Prowler. So like, Roxy, do you know who Prowler is?
Yeah, but only as of recent.
Boom. Austin, do you know who Prowler is?
I don't.
If I told you there was a superhero movie starring Donald Glover set in the Spider-Man universe, would you go see it?
Maybe.
Yeah, see? Yeah. So at least you have Donald Glover attached.
Wait, hold on. You got too positive. He's a very positive person. He said maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. All right.
I'll make it.
Yeah. So but the point is, like, you might not know who the character is, but if you have somebody like Donald Glover attached and it's attached to it, like, you could do something cool with that.
You could.
Yeah.
But I think for a Kraven movie, here's a quick pitch from me. Here's just spitballing here. He's a hunter. He hunts people down. That's his jam. You're creating kind of a monster universe, a la Dark Universe. Universal tried to do, and then it died. You have a Venom character who's you got your monster. You have Morbius as like a vampire, and you could kind of go down the line of picking the more monstrous looking Spider-Man characters and just kind of make horror movies off of them, which isn't the worst idea. You could do it though. Then you could have a movie where Kraven hunts them down.
There you go.
And then you're like, wow, this is super cool. It'd be cool if Spider-Man was here. Well, like no matter what, you're like, oh man. But if Spider-Man was here,
and I think the thing they've always been trying to do is maybe build towards a Sinister Six movie where these characters like Kraven and I guess theoretically Venom team up to whatever. Point is, I would imagine Sony would really like to use Spider-Man, and Marvel's like, hey, we'll see how Venom does.
Yeah, and if it does well, then they get to play more. I don't have the most faith right now, but it is Venom and it is a Spider-Man property, and I think people might just see it because they want to see it.
Yeah, and it might be one of those situations where it is not necessarily critically well received, but it does make money.
And if that's usually enough, so we could still.
I'm still interested to see. We don't know whether it's going to be PG-13 or R yet, do we?
The pitch originally was R, but there hasn't been a rating yet, so it could change. But I think based on how violent it is already, actually, you bring up a good point, because usually with an R rating, they'd release a red band trailer. They'd do something to make it clearer that it's
And also
R-rated.
with the kind of caginess of like Sony feels like it wants to play more in the Marvel playground, they might make it PG-13 just see like, Marvel, you want to have Venom in the next Spider-Man movie?
We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. But let us know what you guys think of the Venom trailer and of the Kraven news. Are these going to be connected, or do you not care?
We want to know what you think in the comments down below.
But make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you get little dings when a new video comes out fresh out the oven. We appreciate you guys. We love you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.